Running a bit of a risk with this video, but here goes. So what I'm about to tell you is just literally factual, nothing else. I'll leave you to draw your own interpretations. Do you know what VAERS is? VAERS. It's the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System. It's basically a system set up in the USA for people, members of the public, doctors, anyone who can can report an adverse event after a vaccine. It's been around for many, many, many years. It's a self-reporting system, so it's not clinically judged. Anyone can report any event or adverse event. So therefore, it's not absolutely 100% accurate, but it does give a very good impression. It's a little bit like taking an opinion poll in politics. It's not absolutely accurate, but when you get enough numbers, you get a really good picture of the overall situation and what's going on in the world. So the VAERS reporting system was obviously very, very widely used during the pandemic 5-6 years or so ago. Some stats and some analysis have been done of the VAERS reporting system, and specifically done into the number of deaths that occurred within certain periods of time after the vaccinations that came out in 2021. And these are some very interesting stats. As I say, I'm not making any judgment on them. You can draw your own conclusions on this. So it appears that 50% of people who died within 48 hours of having had their vaccination. 80% of people who died within a week of having had their first vaccination. Now that may be because they were ill. I'm not saying it was the vaccination that caused it. You can draw your own conclusions to that. It may have been any number of other things, other illnesses. Some of them may well have got hit by a bus. We don't know. All I'm saying is that statistically speaking, 80% of the deaths that were reported were within 48 hours, and 50% of the deaths were within 48 hours, and 80% of the deaths were within 1 week. That leaves only 20% that took any longer than that. Why is that important? Well, because all of the governments around the world did not consider people to be vaccinated until 14 days after they'd had their vaccination. Why is that? Well, because the way it was set up, the belief was that the beneficial effects of having those vaccines didn't fully kick in and didn't come into place until 2 weeks after having them. So essentially, anyone who died within that 2-week period was designated as and considered unvaccinated. So take those two things in conjunction with each other. 50% of the people who were reported to have died within 48 hours, and 80% of the people who were reported to have died within a week. All of those people were within the 2-week boundary limit, and therefore all of those people were considered unvaccinated. So how valid, therefore, are the statistics given out by all the powers that be, all of the various countries, the World Health Organization, the UN, the news and media channels, etc., about the breakdown of who died, how they died, when they died, and what their vaccination status was, i.e. vaccinated or unvaccinated? I'm not making any judgments. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just telling you these are the stats that have come out of the VAERS reporting system. These videos do often get censored. I would like to think that if anyone actually watches this, you can see that I'm very specifically telling people these are just for stats and draw their own conclusions. And therefore I will be appealing if it gets banned.